Huh? 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 Ahsoka. Tricked you. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xaereth Prevails. Today, we're going to talk about bulking up, taking a break. I don't know about you. I am stressed to my eyeballs trying to keep up with the current releases and all of the crazy stuff. Like, go get guns, go get Stap, go get like all of these crazy Imperial remnants that I already don't even have on my littlest account. Like, there's a ton of stuff that they keep releasing, and I'm sick of trying to keep up with it. And I'm not saying that it's wise to stop, but sometimes it's needed to take a break, bulk up the rest of your roster, because your roster's being neglected. You're not putting resources into things that maybe you should. And I want to talk about the things you could do if you just need, like, okay, just pump the brakes. I'm sick of the raid. I'm sick of working on this stuff. Here's some ideas on things you could work on just to kind of stop stressing about the keeping up stuff and just work on getting other stuff done. Because there's a ton of stuff, a ton of corners in your roster that you could blow dust off of and probably really benefit from. So, huge shout out, by the way, to my patrons. You guys are amazing, and I just appreciate the heck out of you. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. I truly, truly appreciate it. And if you want to support this channel for free, folks, I also really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I think we just hit 22k subs recently, so that was amazing, and you guys are awesome. Thank you so much, but please mount the algorithm on your way out, or on your way in, or just pause and do it now. Damn it all, just do it now. Let's get into this here, folks, as soon as I can find the right thing to push. We'll get there someday. Whoa, madness. We're in the game. It's is that Poncho Qui-Gon? Poncho Jyn? Madness. All right, folks. First off, oh, I'm such a stupid hypocrite, guys. First off, I'm just gonna say this. Yeah, I don't want to tell you that you should just work on all the new stuff, except these are pretty acceptable in my opinion, even if you don't have Queen Amidala. These are good little side projects. I don't think he and his... I almost called him a boy toy, and that's like such a terrible thing to call this guy. But he's definitely not a toy. But he and his Padawan should get some work, alright? Because of the assault battle. And that's it. Just the assault battle. Guys, there are a lot of rewards that you're going to be missing. They've already said it's going to be every month, and it is a little bit on the scale of Smuggler's Run 2. It's a little different, but you actually get a lot of similar rewards, and you get even more stuff, even if you don't get them to Relic 9, guys. Relic 5, Relic 7 is very, very worthwhile, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Yes, I know that they're very recent characters, and they're part of the raid, and they're exactly what I was just ranting about, but they are, in my opinion, very worthwhile, and they're worth, you know, like, take a break from them a little bit. Now, let's jump into something completely different. I've taken a lot of flack from people for saying, guys, don't work on Zorii. She is the epitome of luxury, and she kind of is. She's not required for anything. And all I'm going to say is, I've been a little wrong. Like, I've always said she was very strong, and I've always said that she looks like she's carrying muskets. Don't you agree? She looks very muskety, but she's not required for anything. She does cost 2 Zetas, and if you want to optimize her squad, at least 1 Omicron, maybe 2. So she's kind of expensive, but if you already have Rey, she is actually a very good choice, a very strong choice, because you only need one more character to make that squad good. And you don't always need the Omicron to make her good, and she's good in a lot of different game modes. You can see this, so the account I'm showing you from, folks, is my 8.5 million roster, which I have 2 Galactic Legends, and I don't intend to get another Galactic Legend anytime too soon. Maybe Jabba eventually. Maybe I'll chase the new Ahsoka. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do, but one way or another, you can see she's only 4 stars, but I need to start farming her because it's just one more character, guys. It's only one character, and you get a full new squad, and it's actually very high functioning. It's very strong. It's a really strong squad. No, she's not required, but it's just one character. She's a little expensive, but she has muskets, guys. Enough said. Second sister is someone I think she's more of a representative of, if you don't have Inquisition, you're gonna need them eventually, guys. Like, start making some plans on when you're gonna get your Inquisition. They've been an important squad for like 27 years at least, folks. Like, ever since I don't know, whatever 27 years was for Star Wars. No. One theme that I'm going to be talking about a lot in this video is getting your fleets in order. I know that it's a kind of popular thing for people to say, like, okay, I just get by without fleets, I don't want to have to bother with them, and I get that, and if you truly don't want to do that, that's fine. All I'm going to say is, this account at 8.5 million has been in Kyber 2 and Kyber 3. Now that the squish has been more vicious lately. Squishes. It's been really awful, but I've gotten to the point where I can beat people. I have 2 Galactic Legends. I can beat people with 7 or 8. A lot of times. I know how to clear them. I know what I'm doing. I put my 2 GLs on defense, and I can still clear like 6 or 7 GLs because I built my roster like that. The thing that's blocking me now, and it's blocked me like 4 matches in a row almost, is I can't beat fleets because I only have a 4-star Profundity. I do have a really strong Executor, and then I don't have Leviathan because I can't get Malgus. And the thing is, Leviathan doesn't have to be the one thing that's holding me back. If I had the off-meta fleets, and the Inquisition are holding the keys to that. The Empire fleet beats pretty much everything, and I don't have it. I don't have that fleet, and I should be working on Inquisition, or I should be working on my negotiator stuff for Marauder, or something, but one way or another, this is... like, work on your Inquisition, guys, and get them to Relic 8, because it helps. Once you get all of them, get them to Relic 8, because then you can do some missions in territory battles, and it takes you more time, and we all have so much extra time that we want to do that, right? Sweatstain Ben, he goes on a lot of these lists here, folks, as someone who wants more relics, because, well, he's a tricky one. At first glance, he's the person who, like, if you have to say in one sentence, what does Ben do? What's his function? Most people would say, and accurately, they would say to keep Rey alive, or keep her alive longer, or whatever. And no one would say anything about he does an immense amount of damage if he's modded the right way. And he can just be extremely disruptive. Yes, I know that it's popular to think he's just going to get stun locked by Starkiller, and everyone I'm facing uses Starkiller to kill Rey, or uses Malicos to stop him from his revive madness with, from Rey. And I get that. All I'm going to say is he does a crazy amount of damage, and frankly, if he wants to stay alive a little bit longer, more relics are going to help him. And so just getting him to 5, I understand your desire to do that, but he ignores taunt if you're cool enough to have enough Zetas to apply that. He ignores taunt, and it's a Zeta, so it works in all game modes. And then he does his armor shred. He hits beneath protection in GAC. He does a lot of cool stuff. You just need him to be high relict. That's all, folks. You don't need him there, but he's a good target for it. Cere. Okay, let's just be somewhat brief about her. She's a useful character in tons of different game modes. She's the lead for a really cool light side, or even just a mixed UFU squad. and that's wonderful. You don't need great mods for her. What you need is to get off your ass and get her to Relic 7 if you have her and you have Jedi Cal unlocked, because you need to be earning you and your guild. You need to be unlocking Zepho and be getting your guild GT2 to help with the Cairo crunch that everyone is facing. This is a really important thing because I see this a lot, guys. I see it so much, and I'm facing people in GAC, and I'm like, oh, they don't have Relic 5. Like, and I'm trying not to judge, but I totally am judging, because why wouldn't you get her to Relic 7? If you have Jedi Cal, just get Cere to Relic 7 and then move on. She's not one of those characters who you like put high relics on and then you're like, crap, now I have to put high-end mods. Like, look how she can be. She wants to be slow. She can be slower than this. 12 speed on these, like, that's a luxury for her. She just wants lots of health, and then just move on. And then you don't have to remod her or anything. Just get her some 6E, get her Relic 7, get Jedi Cal Relic 7, and get your guild a bunch of GT2 to help unlock that stupid Cairo crunch. Starkiller. Starkiller is a character that also makes a lot of these lists because he's so stat reliant and he really wants a lot of stuff. He's Relic 6 for me on this account. Would be nice to get him more, but I don't know. It just seems like it should be so obvious, but here's the thing, guys. He wants stats on all the different levels. He's going to be assisting a ton, and so his physical damage is not negligible. Don't be negligent about his non-negligible physical damage. So because he's assisting a lot, you want him to get that high up, and then you also want health to go up a lot, because that's how his mini ult, his Star Destroyer of healing, as I call it, comes down and does a lot of damage based off of his max health. Now, people have accused me before of saying, Xaereth, why did you change your tune? Physical damage is is fine, but you always said he should have more health. And I don't know, you must have been listening to like Schmereth or some other content creator, because I've never said that. Starkiller should not be by all means try it, but his ult, you don't use it half the time. Frankly, a lot of battles are over before that because his physical damage is so high. He uses the physical damage way more consistently. The health is great. You do want to do as much damage as you can. I guess the thing I'm saying is you do get a nice little damage boost for both of the things that you want for him, the ultimate and the physical, like the assist damage, if you just give him more relic levels. And maybe that's obvious to people, but I see a lot of people floating around with Relic 5 on their Starkiller and they think it's enough. I mean, I just recently got him up to 6, so I can't really be talking on this account, and 6 is probably not enough. 7 or 8. Get him to Relic 10, guys. That'll be fun. Okay, next one. Snips. This is another one. Oh boy, such a hypocrite, that Xaereth. Here's the thing. Yes, she's required at Relic 9 for GL Ahsoka. And yes, that is like a new thing, I guess. It's a new requirement, but here's the awesome thing about it. She's wanted high relics forever anyways, because she wants to be in a ton of different squads. So I have a Relic 5 on this account, where I still have Jedi Knight Anakin at Relic 3, because even though Anakin does more damage, she's more vital on a lot of different teams. Like, she goes on a ton of different teams, on a Padme team, on a Jedi Master Kenobi team, on a bunch of different like Jedi teams that she can go on. Like, she can fit on a ton of different teams, and so she's extremely versatile. And her ship is also really strong in the sense that, like, if you're countering the off-meta stuff, a lot of times you need extra hitting power, and it's very noticeable if you give her a few extra relic levels. Her big hit, when she comes in from reinforcements, does a significantly like it's a noticeable amount of extra damage. She's also a character, if you have Jedi Master Kenobi, if she's on that team, people will target her because she's so frail, she's so easy to take out, and they'll target her to get rid of his savior mechanic, and that's fine in the set, like it's a good move on their part. But what you can do to contest that is make her super thick, lots and lots of health. But then she's an attacker, and she does a lot of damage. She has a lot of utility for dispelling things, she assists a lot, she's constantly hitting. She's hitting so often that it would be a shame not to give her a few extra relic levels, just to give a little extra boost on all of those different assists that she can do. And so now that Ahsoka, if you're not going for GL Ahsoka, that's totally fine. You should do what you want. Follow your heart, guys. I don't care. But she's a character that you can now feel justified in. Oh yeah, I gave her relic 8 because eventually she's going to be 9 anyways. Like long-term thinking, she could be 9, and I have a good reason to get her relics now, instead of like, oh look, I got her to relic 8 and now she's not usable. That feeling sucks. She's always going to be usable in the sense that you use her to unlock a galactic legend, which is also not negligible. Jyn is probably the one I have the worst argument for, honestly, guys, on this video. I'll be upfront with you, but you don't need her for her ship, actually, ironically, even though she does have one, and it's part of a meta fleet. But the thing about her is, I love Adrad, and he does a lot of cool stuff, but he really likes to have a sidekick who hits really hard, and she's kind of stat hungry in the sense that she wants a lot of potency early on, and she wants a lot of crit chance early on, and she also wants a lot of offense the whole time through. There's been a lot of Datacron sets lately that have gotten her a nice little boost in terms of like ways to interact that ramps her damage, and she counters a lot of stuff, especially early game. She's a great early game target. Of course, Relic 5 is probably enough for a lot of people. Relic 8, you do notice her damage just gets to be absurd levels, but you don't always need it. That's why it's kind of the weakest argument, but she's a decent target for bulking up if you've already got all the other stuff on this list. So anyways, you're lucky you made the cut, Jyn. 5s. So a lot of people have him as a requirement. He's like required at Relic 5, Relic 7, something like that. And all I'm going to say is any counter with his ship that requires him to be like part of, some off-meta counter, they need him to be fast. You need him to be fast, and we're just kind of take it for granted that he's really fast on his fleet until he's not, and then it's a disaster and a fiasco, and it feels bad, folks. So get your 5s up to higher relics, guys. Mine is only gear 12, and it's a whole mess. 5s, really good fleet guy. And then, of course, if you have General Skywalker or a good General Skywalker squad, he fits into there pretty seamlessly. He's a decent tank. You don't even have to put his taunting ability here if you don't want. It's kind of a bad ability, in fact. Mace is a character who mace all of these lists because he's so stat hungry. Let's go as quickly as we can, though. He wants to survive. He wants to do different status effects to people, like ability block on basic. He wants to be able to stun. He wants to remove turn meter with that stun. He wants to survive and do a little extra damage, and for that he needs potency, he needs health, he needs offense, and the more relic levels you give him, the more he's able to do that. Cad Bane is an interesting character. He can be used, lately I keep hearing him used on Jabba teams because of his mastery as evasion. If he can ramp his mastery up, he just never gets hit, and he's able to, time people out. It's kind of the same thing as Jedi training Rey. On a Rey team, eventually her mastery gets so high that you time out like a Starkiller squad or whatever. Cad Bane can do a similar kind of thing sometimes. But I would say the bigger reason you want him to be higher relics, and you can see I have him at 8, even on this smaller account, because his Executor fleet is able to counter pretty much all the other fleets out there if he's Relic 8 and, IG-88's Relic 8. It's kind of expensive, but If you want to be able to take out Leviathan, for instance, you have to have high relics on your ships so that they can do a lot of damage. So just another admonition to be working on that. Oh, look at you, Snips. Didn't see you here. Now, Bane, you may think, oh, wow, he doesn't need relics. I kind of think, and this is my tinfoil hat conspiracy theory, I kind of think they stealth nerfed him a little bit, guys. He was killing so much stuff so consistently when he was first released. And now a lot of the stuff that he used to kill consistently, and this is before he had his Datacron, eventually got a Datacron and it made him godlike. But then when he came off of his godlike, his semi-godhood from his Datacron, he can't counter the same stuff at the same rate. And I don't think it's because everyone collectively got better at modding somehow suddenly. I think it's because maybe he got a little bit of a nerf. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm usually not the guy who has conspiracy theories. I just have noticed a decline in his usefulness before and after his Datacron. His Datacron was amazing. And before his Datacron, he was amazing too. And now he's okay. He does fine. Anyways, if you... this season already on this account... There have already been, I think, 3 different times where I'm like, if he wasn't Relic 8, like, I just got him to 8. He was at 7 for a while. I got him to 8. There were a few times that he got all the way down into red, and I was like, if he wasn't 8, if he was 7 right now, he would be dead. He would just be dead right now. And so it's kind of a scary thought that, like, maybe we should get him. I think getting him up to 8 is not a bad choice. I know he's kind of like a meta character. Everyone's working on him, wants him, whatever. I just think that giving him a little extra boost in the form of survivability for, like, he's just there alone. His friend dies, and then he just sits there and takes an entire team's wrath. It's probably worth giving him Relic 8. I mean, 9 he doesn't gain that much. Like, he just gains an extra, 5,000 health and a tiny bit of armor. I don't know if it's worth it for from 8 to 9, but from 7 to 8, I do think he also gets a nice little boost on offense, too. Jedi Revan is an interesting one. And it's honestly one that I kind of thought I had removed. He's kind of a controversial high relic because he's not required for anything, actually. And like, what does he do? Like, the thing that a lot of people don't notice is, so he's an attacker, and he does a lot more damage than a lot of people think he does. He also is that guy who, if he dies, everything crumbles. Everything gets a lot worse, a lot more quickly. It feels pretty bad, and he's kind of the linchpin for most of the teams that he's in. Even if he's not the lead, he still does a lot of stuff. He's got his savior mechanic, he's got the hero thing, and the other light side allies gain half of the bonuses that he's getting. He hands people turns. He's the only person in the game who can just point at whoever he wants, and anyone else on his squad can then just be like, they'll follow, and they'll be like, oh, Revan wants me to hit here, I'll hit here too. Like, he could be on the same team as a Sith and still do that. He could be on the same team as a Galactic Legend and have them target whoever he's just marked. It's an amazing ability. He does hit, I mean, it's not an amazing amount of hitting power, but it's good. He just needs to survive to do it, and more relics on Revan is probably not the worst choice you'll ever make. Relic 3 is just barely enough to use some Datacrons with him, but Basti's required at Relic 7. I think getting him up to 5 or even to 7, it does boost your winning percentage, I would think. Because otherwise he's fairly frail. I mean, I just have him modded for mostly protection. I forget why. And why does he have crit chance? This is my little account. It has terrible mods, guys. Don't pay any attention to the nonsense on this. I think crit chance is probably folly for him. But anyways, more relics on Revan is not a bad idea. Merrin. So, here's the reason you want more relics on her. If you're gonna kill Jabba, it takes a long time to chew through that much fat. He's just got so much blubber that you've got to kill it. And so, trying to kill him at You know, Relic 1, for instance, is a really painful thing. It just sucks, and it's not fun. And the higher relics you have, the more she's going to be able to hit hard. Usually, her mechanics, you want to surround her with a bunch of people who are going to die, and then you'll summon them from the grave to also hit as well, to assist. But she's the one consistent one who's constantly hitting with her basic, and she could really use a nice boost on her basic, which means giving her some relics, guys. Oh, what just happened? That's madness. Okay, let's move right along, though. Plus Merrin's nice. And we like to relic people who are nice, right? Okay, I feel a little foolish talking about this guy on an account where I haven't even been able to unlock him. 2 more months, folks. 2 more months. Malgus should be obvious. I feel like should be an obvious. First off, in fleets, obviously, like, you're already going to have a Relic 9 Darth Revan. Once you unlock Leviathan, you'll have a Relic 9 Malak. And Malgus, it seems like a lot of people are like, oh, you know what? Those other guys are Relic 9. I'm just going to throw him at Relic 5. Call him good. And he's pretty tanky, and you kind of just, okay, yeah, he functions pretty well there. The thing is, he is the source of the majority of damage on that squad. I know that you have Relic 9 Darth Revan, but you need more than just Relic 9 on Darth Revan to be, like, he does some damage, it's fine, it's good, congratulations for that. But Malgus, he's the one who destroys people, and the way he destroys people is through his big hit. And his big hit is done based off of his max health. So, and he's a tank. When he goes up from 8 to 9, he gets a huge boost in health. He's one of those characters I think is borderline required at Relic 9 because he does so much damage. He also taunts so much that he takes a lot of hits. So his damage is based off of his health. His survivability is based off of his health. Getting him more relics is nice because not only is he very stat reliant, he's also a character. He's beyond, if Galactic Legends aren't part of the equation, he's part of a probably top 3 team in the game right now, at least top 5, like an amazing team. Getting him high relics should be something you should look at like pretty immediately, folks. I think Traya is the final one. She is indeed. A lot of Sith on this list hit the bottom. The last time I made this video, I told people that Traya was a character that a lot of people put at Gear 12 and called it good enough because she's so good at surviving. Her different mechanics really do make her and her team very resilient, even at lower relic levels. And that's true even on this account. I mean, she's Relic 4, but then I have a Nihilus at Relic 3. I have Savage at Relic 3, and it's very tough to get her more relics because she already functions. They function at such a high rate. They'll kill like a Relic 7 or Relic 8 team a lot of times. But what I will say is the higher relics you put, Traya specifically, but everyone else also really likes relics, is she does survive that much more. Like she just, it makes her more and more of a bastard to kill. Honestly, it's already an obnoxious team, and it gets to be more obnoxious. And then you stop. What you'll realize once you start putting relics on her and her team is you stop cringing nearly as much. Like, oh my gosh, Bando's got whistling birds. This is awful. And then he releases them and you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Like, you just start realizing they don't really die to much at all, but you have to put the relics on them or it doesn't really work. So anyways, folks, that's basically it. That's all she wrote. There's a lot of things you could be working on. These were a few ideas. I hope this is helpful. What other things do you think should be side projects that you could bulk up on? I would love to hear in the comments, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails. And honestly, genuinely hope you do too. Take care, everyone.